Hello, good evening, everybody. Hello, good evening, everybody. How are we doing? You are welcome, 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 welcome. You are welcome to today's webinar. It's such a pleasure to have you. Okay. So we'll use the first few minutes just to hang around and wait so that we'll have others join in. In the meantime, I'm Lewa Barry Damon and I will be your moderator for tonight. Uh, okay, let's hope that we have others join us shortly. This woman wore makeup for 5 years straight without ever. Let's hope that we have others join us shortly. Please share the link to this section, this YouTube section. Go to your WhatsApp status, go on your WhatsApp. You have somebody in your community, somebody on your contact list that needs to be here. In fact, from the theme of tonight's section, you already know that every young person in your life, every young person needs to be here. So please go ahead and share this link to them. At least 5%. At least 5%. Okay, let's go on. Let's go on. Let's go on. Let's share. Let's share. Let's share. Let's share. You are welcome. Tonight promises to be. I'm not going to do. I was going to say a little bit about our speaker for tonight, but there is a different timing for that. So let me not go ahead of myself. It promises to be exciting, to be worth filled. It it promises to be worth your time. So please still share this link. Share the link to this. I would know you share this link when I see how much we've grown on this live. Yes, I would know that you have shared this link. Do not be stingy with it, please. Do not be stingy. What we are going to learn tonight are things that people actually do pay money for. But here, Stossel is offering to us on a platter of gold. We are going to learn how to leverage AI for our career and business, how to stay ahead of industry changes, how to turn AI into, for our competitive advantage. And we hear people often say things like, oh, AI is going to take your job. AI is going to take your job. Really? And I'm like, really? Will AI take the job of people who actually know what they are doing? Or you're talking about, if you're talking about lazy people, that's fine. People are creating the AI themselves. People are using AI to their advantage. It makes the work easy. It makes so many things happen faster than it would have before the coming of AI. All right. So no, AI is not taking our jobs because tonight we are going to learn how to use AI for our good, to our advantage. All right. Please still share. Still share. Still share. I'm looking at us here. I want us to get to a particular figure and then we will move on. Please share the link to this live section. How was your day? Happy Sunday, by the way, and happy new month to everybody. Happy new month. Happy new month. We hope that as we begin this new month with this section, you're going to drive through the month of March with AI to your advantage. All right, so we'll move on to our next section very shortly. The team lead of Stossel will be taking us on a welcome speech. Yes, Miss Jane. So she would be handling that shortly, just so that we can go ahead. There's so much to talk about tonight, so we don't have to waste time on anything in particular. All right, Miss Jane, are you there? Just so you. Hello, Jane, are you there? Okay. Okay, so let's just hang on a bit while we expect her soon to take up that section. Please keep sharing this link. Keep sharing this link. Look, I'm so serious about this link sharing that you might see me in your room right now. You might see me live in your room. Share the link, tell your roommate, tell your hostel mates, whoever is around you. Hop on this live section. Hop on this live section. Let me not talk about our speaker tonight. There's a different section for that. Because if you've ever heard him speak anywhere, or if you know him anyway, you know that tonight is about to go down. It's about to be hot. We are getting it hot, hot tonight. Okay, okay, okay. Somebody said shared. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Miss Jane, are you ready for us? Uh, okay. Jane, are you there, please? So you take on the welcome
Hello, good evening,
speech.
everyone. Good
Mhm.
evening, everyone. Thank you so much, Lenwy. Can you confirm you can hear me?
Yes, please, we can hear you.
Good evening, everyone. Please, can you confirm you can hear me?
Good evening, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you so much for joining today. Like please let's share the link. Let's get everyone to join. Invite your friends, invite your loved ones, your enemies, invite your ex, invite everybody, your mother, your father. Here. Okay, someone said it's low. Is it better now? I think it's my device. But please let's just manage. So my introduction is just for 5 minutes before we have the before we have the speaker. But thank you so much. Remember, this webinar is hosted by Stosu, and is a platform for students, for young graduates, to learn, earn, and grow. So we are just here to ensure that students and young graduates have opportunities that position them better. So the reason for organizing webinars, workshops, and all these events we do, they are to help you position yourself better, help you earn as a student, help you get better jobs as a graduate. So just stay tuned. I believe that the speaker has a lot to share. I believe that he is here to share from his experience, and let's just open our minds to listen. Let's open our minds to listen, open your heart to listen and learn. And at the end of the session, or while he's speaking, if you have questions, you just do well to jot it down somewhere, or you can drop it in the chat, and the moderator will compile them and get to ask your questions. So thank you so much. Thank you once again, and let's go. So let's have our speaker up. So let me, yeah, go ahead.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Jane. Okay, so just before we get our speaker on, I'm just going to give a very quick introduction of who we are about to listen to. For those of us who are affiliated to FUPRI, or who were once students, or you are even a student of FUPRI. If you are, you can drop a favorite emoji in the comment section. Yes, because while I had put up this flyer on my WhatsApp status, I had several persons who dropped testimonies of our speaker tonight. This is before I even had to say anything. So this is to let you know that we have no player in our midst tonight. This one, he is serious and he knows his onion. All right. So Mr. Bakel is our speaker for tonight. He is the founder and CTO of Aurora Robotics. He holds double stand masters in marine robotics and shipping from Universidade da Coruna. Please, if I got this wrong, if you can hear me, I'm sure he would correct me when it comes up. And he has consulted for reputable companies across the USA, Europe, UK, and now the thing is, I have persons who already gave me this side of him before I actually got to see it for myself. All right. So please let's fasten our seatbelt, get your books, get your pen, your notepad, whatever it is you want to use to write. Please get it now. The reason why for me in particular, I'm very much interested in tonight's teaching because I just want to know how AI can help me automate things, just help me fasting things, things that I could have done manually. How will AI help me? That is what I want to learn tonight. All right. So before he comes up, you've seen the flyer before tonight, or maybe somebody sent it to you this night. Please, can you drop your expectations, please? Just in one sentence. In one sentence, very quickly. Just drop what I don't think you're here just for here's sake. I'm sure you would have been doing something else with your time. So what exactly do you want to
I don't
learn?
think you're
What
here.
do you want to learn tonight? Please just drop it. Drop it in one sentence, please. What do you want to learn? What are you here to learn tonight? What new thing? Okay, please let's drop it. Let's drop it. Let's drop it. I want to see our comments. I want to see our comments. Oh, Raquel is there. Have we? I want to see our comments. No, we haven't dropped any comments yet. We haven't dropped any comments yet. What do you seek to learn tonight? Yay, our speaker is here. What do you seek to learn tonight? Let's drop it. Let's drop it. Let's drop it in one sentence. Um, just so you can help our speaker to speak in that direction. Can we all hear me? I want to be sure we can hear me because I want to be sure that we can hear me. I want to see our expectations. Oh, someone said, okay, you want to hear his experiences. I'm sure he would have a lot of that to share tonight. Okay, so moving on very quickly. Mr. Bakel, can you hear me, please?
Yeah, I can hear you.
30 seconds, you will have the mic. Someone else said, I'm here to learn everything. Okay, however, it's good to be specific, right? Because when you're specific, you would help us to, it will help you to also measure what you're going to learn tonight. Thank you. I think 30 seconds is gone. Mr. Bakel, over to you.
All right, good evening, everybody. My name is Bakel, and I'm a graduate of FUPRI. First of all, I would love to apologize that I could not um, have a slide up here, and that would have actually been better. Also, as you might observe, I'm a little bit tired, but let's see if we can get something good out of today. So today we're talking about your AI advantage, my AI advantage, our AI advantage, and the audience I'm giving to understand majorly students, probably entrepreneurs, and people who are new to business. There are also quite some technical people amongst us. But regardless of this diverse audience, one thing remains constant between all of us, which is the fear of whether or not AI is going to replace us. And I'm going to answer that question from experience. And the answer to that question is surprisingly scary if you're actually going to be very honest. There are a lot of people that would love to argue, oh no, AI would not take my job. And there are a lot of people that would argue AI will take my job, which is wrong, which is correct. First of all, for those of us who are familiar with biology, like we're very good at biology, we probably must have heard of Darwin's theory. I think there's a theory of evolution, and that is something that's a theory I like a lot. Like it's a theory I live by, right? I'm a very competitive person, and I very much understand that if you are not fast enough, if you are not, so you don't adapt quick enough, and you end up losing your job or you end up losing something, I'm comfortable. Like I feel no pity for you, right? I feel no pity for you at all because that's how it is. It's just that we actually have some form of rationale as human beings. But if you put everybody in a jungle, it's survival of the fittest, and that's how life is. It's very fine. Okay. So first of all, you need to first of all understand that okay, that's how it is. So before I start by saying of these numbers are things that I have in my head. You can probably confirm it. You can Google it and find out. At the same time, I might not be 100% exact with these numbers, but the figures are very close. If we start from, there's a company we all know of, Amazon. Amazon again is the first company I go to because their own issue actually caused a lot of problems in the labor force or in the labor market. Amazon cut 16,000 jobs. So basically, 16,000 people lost their jobs in just one company. We now look at company like HP, which we all know HP produces laptop. Almost everybody started using a HP laptop because it's cheap, it's affordable, blah blah blah. 6,000 people lost their jobs, and these are like directly related to AI, not recession, because there are times there are economic recession and things like that. But I'm stating what the values are as per AI. Then we'll talk of IBM. IBM again, big data giants. A lot of people lost their jobs too. And then the ones we rarely hear of, Chevron, Shell, and all these big companies. And that's because you sort of have to be an insider to you're not going to really see it anywhere that Shell or Chevron dropped people because of AI. Why? This kind of news has negative there's a way the population looks at the company like, oh, you're replacing people with AI. Like there's this negative stigma attached to it that some companies try to avoid. So now these are the numbers, and those numbers are not lying. I assure you a lot of people are losing their jobs. And I'm saying this from a position of somebody that have made a lot of people lose their jobs. At the same time, if you stay well on this, if you stay till the end, you would find out how I somehow managed to navigate that terrain and my own advice to people. Because um 11 years ago I started learning web development, and then I learned web development for like 2 3 months. I got a job in web development, and I switched to something else, right? I'm somebody that likes learning different things. So that's how I left web development. And I didn't do anything about web development until last year, November. There was a job I got as of that time, November. I've already started doing robotics. So the job um needed us to control a robot with a website. So now the control of the robot is something I do. Again, robotics. But then the website is something a web developer should do because that is web dev. And what happened was the company said, we already have a web developer. Sorry, we already have a robotics engineer, which is me, and we will not want to get another web dev. I don't know if you have the skill of a web dev. Now, mind you, my skill is very rusty. I haven't done web dev in like 11 years. And I was like, okay, yeah, let me just try and see what AI has to do. And I built that website with AI. So basically, I was only contributing to the robotic side, which is my strength. But for the web dev, I was just giving prompts and reading code. Already, I know how to read code, so it's not difficult. Giving prompts and giving prompts. And by the end of that project, I took both the salary of myself being the robotics engineer and the web dev. And then I thought back, in a case where there was no AI, I probably would have needed a web dev. Now this is something that there are sometimes that I go to sleep and I think about it. Now I'll also tell you how scary it is. There are certain projects I work on. AI is not even coming for just human beings. That one is not usually my that means a concern. But to tell you that AI is coming for even animals. At the airport, you go and you see dogs. that sniff for cocaine or sniff for things. Like if you go to the airport, especially international airports, you see a lot of these dogs. And what these dogs do, they just stand around your bag. They are very, very sensitive. They know how to pick up scent and all of that. And there's a company that reached out to me in September 2025. That was last year. And they said we are working on a system that uses AI to detect scent. The good thing about this is it saves the cost of maintaining dogs, save the cost of feeding dogs, it saves the cost of. So if you look at the robot is in form of a dog, but the actual if you Google Inos, I don't know if I can drop something in the chat because like usually I tell people like probably have a pen somewhere or like if this was Google Meet, I can just type something. So if you got what an e-nose is, you would find out that there are so many things that are in this world that are more concerning than the things that bothers you, right? There's a saying, now you've seen the robot dog quadruple. A robot dog is a quadruple. That's fine. There are robot dogs everywhere. Boston Dynamics has a quadruple. Which one? Unit 3, they have quadruples. That's different. An e-nose consists of about 12 to 15 different nose sensors that does what? That tells smell, but uses AI at the end of the day, right? We run AI at the back end to like try to perceive smell. Now, think of the fact that about 2 3 and the funny thing about these projects are not done to be sold next tomorrow or next month. These men have the money. They are going to finance this project with millions of naira for as far as they want. But you're just going to sleep and wake up one morning and you that are selling dog to the airport, they tell you we don't want your dogs again. And then you just think is a recent development. Another thing that should also concern yeah, it's funny. Another thing that should also concern you is think of think of the most intensive, like the most human intensive endeavor. Like I want to paint a picture for you to show you how concerning this is. Like, so you will not actually think that, oh, it's just people that do web dev or it's just people that code that should fear about AI. Think of the most human intensive thing. And I can show you a company that even if I have not interfaced with them directly, at least I know that they are doing something that wants to replace it. Um, One thing that goes to mind is military warfare. Because tell me again, that has to be the most human intensive endeavor. Carrying gun, running up and down, shooting and all that. But then in 2013, mind you, 2013, I was in where was I? I was in GS3 in 2013. I don't know where some of you were, but think about how far back in 2013 Shield AI, and yes, there was AI as far back as 2013. Shield AI started working on these projects. And I kid you not, they spent $15 billion from then till now. And now they're actually doing AI in warfare. Now you might think we've not heard the news. We've actually not heard the news. And there's a reason why we've not heard the news. We've not seen it everywhere yet. No worry. I assure you, next year, upper year, you will actually see it. There are confidential papers here and there. There are things everywhere. It doesn't get into the mainstream news, but again, that's why I'm here to talk to you. So think of cooking. Think of cooking. Chef, you are a chef and you think that's fine. There's a Saudi Arabian company. That's Saudi. When we first opened Aurora, I have ties with the Arabs, right? Okay, cool. So the Saudi Arabian company, I was like, okay, so we want to have a robot that cooks. a robot that cooks, makes coffee, blah blah blah. We're working on that design. There's an airport in Europe here. Which airport is that? I think it's in Madrid because I've been to that airport. That airport has a robot that serves coffee, that makes coffee, that serves coffee. And these are things you might not even know exist. Now, what am I saying? What am I saying? Should human beings run away or should human beings panic because AI is? Because think of it, there's almost anything you can think of that AI. Kuwait, January 2020, January 2025 or 2024, I can't remember. Kuwait, the Kuwaiti Ministry of Water and Electricity, we worked on a project where what did we do? So it's basically agriculture, but you know these things that you see that people are saying, oh, let's how do I put it? You want to monitor your farm, you want to monitor your farm, you want to use robots, blah 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 blah. And that's agriculture. Okay. So now I've talked about so many things that is good enough to scare people. If you are following the news, you find out that yesterday, day before yesterday, OpenAI got 101 billion in a single investment to do what? That thing is more detailed than you think it is. It's not just. I mean, people read it and they're like, oh yeah, I mean, it's investment in AI, but it's and a lot of it has to do with surveillance. These are things that you would only hear the um the updates after like a couple of years. All right, so I've spent a good time scaring people. Now let's talk about how do we now navigate this thing. There's something we normally do that time. There's a saying amongst me and people that work with me over the years. Because like the first company I opened was back then when I was in school. And that saying is cut all work come. Like if we don't get what they do we get person we they do like cut bring all jobs. And the way we did that thing was there should be no reason that you should be static, or there should be no reason that you should say this is my field, let me swear and die by this field. I say if we no fit do we get people wey go do and if we no get people wey go do we get people wey get people. And that's why I'm very very big on networking. So much so that I can reach any Nigerian university, like anybody in any Nigerian university, and like it surprises people how you can actually do that. But then think about it. Think about it. You've decided. Do anybody know what a barrister is? Like not a lawyer. A lawyer is a barrister. A barista is a profession of making coffee, and it was a big thing, and they were being paid well. But again, in 2020, there was serious complaints when coffee machines became very rampant and nobody cares about a barista. A barista will take his time to carve the coffee beans, and a lot of artistry in it. And imagine if that was your job and you're making so much money and then the coffee machine came out. Think about it. So what am I trying to say? I would give you my own perspective. I'm a marine engineer. I came into Europe. I came into Europe to study marine engineering. And then I sat down and I analyzed this thing and I was like, um, there is actually no, I don't want to put it as though marine engineering is not a good field. It's a very good field, splendid. But there's something that they call people like me. I mean, if there's anybody like that, we like living on the edge, right? You will never see us in that middle populace. Like we're always at that extreme of things. So I looked at it and I'm like, okay, yeah, the trend is not really in marine engineering. You could do marine engineering and get good money. At the same time, those that are actually in the field understand how difficult it is to break even. Okay, because that's not where the trend is. I'm not saying abandon marine, but I'm saying if you're in marine, you should probably be a bit smarter with how you do things, because it's not the conventional thing we're taught in Nigeria again. So there was an argument that somebody gave that they do not like the way people are using AI in marine related fields. Hmm? The moment I came and I noticed how the dynamics was, that was when I pivoted into robotics and AI. Because for somebody like me that is forever ambitious, I'm not going to stick on one thing and say, okay, this is what I swear by. And nah, I'm not going to do that. Now, what I did was, okay, let me look around, read the news. Like, take your time to study what's going on in the world, right? Understand where power is moving, to understand where dynamics is, understand. Take your time to understand, because at the end of the day, you are first of all in this world to survive, not necessarily to open a business or die by a particular discipline, right? And you have to actually survive by that means. So I I switched to more of robotics and AI. And by the way, I'm doing a master's for marine engineering. Ladies and gentlemen, there are 18 people in my class doing the same masters. Out of that 18, almost 10 of the thesis or 10 of the projects is relating to AI in marine engineering. And I assure you, they were not thinking of doing AI per se when they started the course. But me, I've already known that, okay, yeah, I've taken time to actually look at this thing and know that more the way this thing is actually picking speed, you have to try and be a bit more persistent. Now, there are so many other things that I can talk about the advantage that I had, or the advantage that I have because I started it early. But let's keep that one side first. Let's keep that one side. I now there's robotics quite all right. There's AI, but AI is very broad. I mean, people throw AI around like AI. Not everything is AI, funny enough. But again, AI is broad. So the first and the very first advice would be, for no reason should you be static. There's no reason for you to say, okay, this is one thing that I want and just remain on it. This is different from this is not an excuse for you to wake up one morning and study chemical engineering and then tomorrow go to petroleum and then another day. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is you have to identify the particular field that from a good researcher, like my brother would say, my brother is not even in science, right? He's in arts, finance, and whatever. But you first of all identify what will make you relevant in the future. And by future, maybe like next 1 year, next 2 years, next 3 years, because now the future is not next 10 years. Next 10 years is too long. Something will come up again, right? Now you pick something and you know, okay, I'm going to be doing this for a while. And as you do that, ensure that you're looking out. Is this field still safe for me to continue? Nokia, Nokia CEO came out and said, we did nothing and yet we failed. But the exact problem was they did nothing. That's the problem. I mean, why would you do nothing? Are you okay? People are waking up and doing things here and there, and then you decide to stick on the fact that your phone is durable and you want to sell just durability. Nobody cares about just durability. Come on, I mean, I have a phone that can do more things. Try and up your game. IBM collapsed. IBM collapsed at Nvidia because Nvidia decided to up their game and IBM could not keep up. Again, if you know IBM was like this very big, one of the first people that did the computer now. We have the company that for LEDs, there was no blue LED. There was just different colors of LEDs. But the problem was when you have different colors, blue is a primary color. So if you have blue, you have red, you have green. If you have blue, anybody that can create blue can do what? Can create any color they need. Because for any color you need red, you need green, you need blue. There was no blue. And then a company in Japan, it was one guy. You just go and read the story, but There are certain history that if you know in this life, you will not say you want to die by one field, or you would try as much as possible to be dynamic. So I will not explain that story of that blue LED, but that's a very interesting story. Probably if you read it by yourself, you will understand. To keep time short, since we don't have much time. All right. Long story short, right now I'm doing something. What am I doing? I'm learning neuroscience and neuroengineering. I know that's far stretched. Somebody just came from marine and then he went into robotics, and for some reasons he wants to go into neuroengineering. I'm not saying you should go into neuroengineering. That's a very, very difficult and expensive endeavor. But I am saying within your niche, within what you are doing, try and look for the next big thing. I would narrow it down to a company that somebody here at Short works out that I really liked, right? We talk about Purple Wash. Purple Wash, I don't know if they are still in business, but they do what? Washing machine, washing clothes business, like clothes business. Now, the first thing you need to identify is that kind of business will never die because people will not stop wearing clothes. That's the first logic you need to pick. If your business is a business that the demand can die, then I don't think you should be doing it. Example of business that the demand can die is what? Button phone. You were buying button, you were selling button phones. And then suddenly now there is touch screen. Nobody would want to buy a button phone, I guarantee you. But there is no form of AI that will come in this world and people will start walking around naked, except probably for some reasons World War III happens and then we nuke everything and then evolution and then we start from beginning and everybody is running around naked, Stone Age. But no, since that's not a possibility, and if that happens either ways, you won't have a business. So everybody's going to have clothes. Everybody's going to wash their clothes. What you are going to do now is ensure to evolve, because I cannot come and drop clothes and then you will tell me I should write on pen and paper, I should write my name and you count the clothes manually and then I will sign and then I'll go. At the time that was okay. Right now, if I should walk in and you do that, I'm not even going to, like, why? But I mean, think of it. I come in, you give me a membership card. I can scan that card. By the way, all these things are not expensive. Like 50K, 100K, you can set up systems like this. But like I scan the card, you simply just count the clothes. You can choose to count it manually, you can use ref tags, whatever you want to do. But the idea now is there's a sense of evolution in that business. These are not things that are very expensive, oh, but these are things that when you do it, me that walks into your store, I am not going to want to leave, because I mean I enjoy that kind of thing. And then maybe you set up text messenger or like email. You have my mail, and then you say, oh, Bakel, your this thing is up, come and pick it. And then I come. And then when I come, you do not waste time to start looking for where you dropped my clothes. All these things does not even involve AI. All these things does not involve AI. Oh. Does not. But now let's say, okay, you want to integrate AI in that kind of thing. This is an idea that comes to mind, like off the top of my head, but you can look at it. I come into your shop and I wash a lot of clothes. There's something you need to understand, that AI thrives on data. And if you run a business, the only reason why you will not know you're collecting data is if you are not smart. 10 people frequent your store per week, let's say minimum. 10 people bring 10 different clothes for the ease of calculation. You have 100 clothes per week in your store. What that means is in a month, you have 500 clothes, at least 500 types of clothes. If you are a serious business, I guarantee you can track the change of fashion. You can track the change of fashion. And you can track, okay, this particular customer, these are the sets of clothes that he has. And then what can you do? You can now even recommend. This is what I mean. You've seen my wardrobe. You've seen that I like wearing caps. And maybe there is this one cap that I have washed, but I don't wash color come out that cap. You will notice that's data. And then I'm going to come into your store and I'll just see that you're selling cap at the corner. You don't need to tell me that, oh, that I'm selling cap. I'll just come and be like, see cap, oh, and I'll buy cap. It won't cost you anything to put that cap there, just the cost of the cap. But there's guarantee that I'm going to buy. See, business to thrive is not hard. Now you let's imagine now. I use the case of 10 people per week, which is very small. 10 clothes, which is still very small, because I know I was frequenting Purple Wash with like tons of clothes. Like I was going to the gym, I was doing this, and clothes yakpa everywhere. I guarantee you that it's very difficult for you to keep track with the normal human eye, because let's say you have a very big store, that is where you will now actually use AI. But there are procedures for these things, right? You're going to have to let the customer know, because that's where the problem comes. The problem comes when my clothes comes in and you take pictures of my clothes. See, I didn't know my guy. See, I mean, no man, I know still the shame. I go still talk. So you have where was I? Okay, yeah. You have you take pictures of the clothes. Now, there's what is called classification in AI. You take a set of, like, you take 10 pictures of my clothes and you tag it, this is for Bakel. And then you classify those clothes, cap, black shirt. By the way, if I come and wash out your laundry, the amount of black we go free. We say this guy now only for night to the worker. So you're gonna say, okay, black shirts, big polo, this one, this one. The more detailed your classification is. Now, you as a human being, you cannot even classify as much as AI would classify. But as you say black shirts that has turtleneck. These are different things, because somebody might like black shirt with turtleneck and black shirt with normal this thing. But then you take your time and classify this thing. Before you know, you're going to build an extremely big data set of clothes. And it's not really difficult. You are doing laundry. Before you know, you don't open one small boutique for corner. And when I mean boutique with 100% conversion rate, because you have the customers. And that's exactly how WhatsApp, Instagram, TikTok, the rest of them make their money. Like, there are people that they employ to think like thieves like this, right? So that's an example. If you need more details, send me email. Let's talk. Aside that, which other business can I say? I know the whole washing business is one of the most popular, but like, what business do students do? I'm not going to talk about project writing because that is illegal. I know that's what very intelligent students do. You write project a lot. I'm not going to talk about that. That's not something you should be doing. If anybody have any business, you can probably drop it down. But the people that sell perfume, the people that do perfume, because that's another thing I say a lot. People that sell food business. Food business is tricky, right? Food business is tricky because what comes to my mind first is, as a student, your food business might not be in a store, right? At least this is the way I know how food business usually happen. Because again, I hate cooking. I don't hate cooking. I don't have the time to cook, right? So it's better for me to just get food outside and cook. So with food business, one of the things that you have rather is you have data of preference. What Mr. A likes, what Mr. B likes, what Mr. C likes. And there's something that comes with preference. When you open your Netflix shows you only things that you like. Because you've watched a few videos here and there, and then they are shoving the rest down your throat. Preference is a very, very strong thing. So think of the Nkechi kitchens for some reasons. I don't know. Nkechi kitchens sounds okay. And you sit down one day. It doesn't cost anything to create a small scale website or a small scale app on AI. You are using AI. It doesn't cost anything actually. All you just need to do is understand how to prompt and you get a small scale. When I mean small scale, because I mean we're in footprint now, we just want to do for people around the environs. We're not doing a large scale. When you need a large scale, probably that's when you need developers, you need this. I'm saying. So the idea now is you would have to sort of leverage your customers. You know that this person, this person likes online tutorial business. I'm not going to talk about that because that's my business. I'm not going to talk about that. But if you probably heard about Aurora everywhere, that's because I'm doing it well. So I'm not talking about that. So food business, yeah, as I was saying, um, you would have to now use people's preference. There is something which AI can you use to create a website. I would recommend I would recommend Lovable. I've never used Lovable. It depends on who is asking. Are you good with coding? Do you know how to code before now? If you know how to code, then Claude AI. But again, I'm not the best person to ask about which AI because in as much as I build AI systems, I don't use AI to code only when I need to. There's a problem with using AI to code. The problem is it reduces your if you are a developer, I will not advise you to be heavily invested in using AI to code. Because think about it, the only thing that you're using to sell yourself is what you are selling out. Say, for example, okay, you don't know how to code. Ah, fine, lovable. Lovable is good for you. Someone says selling thrift. Thrift themselves. The guy that is doing, if that guy that has a washing machine, that has a laundry, if he does laundry well, if you say you go see thrift sell, because look, dynamics of business is one mad thing. You probably should not be selling thrift. You should not be selling thrift. There are some businesses that should not exist. By the way, thrift is what you guys just modernized to clicker. I would just go to a Efru Market or Japa Junction and buy it myself. But again, you should not be selling thrift. If you sell thrift and it's working for you, it's fine. But I would advise you, do not look at this as something you want to do long term. Unless there's a catch, unless you want to like sort of create a proper pipeline in this thing that you don't want to just sell local stuff. I know somebody that's what name comes to mind? What name comes to mind? Worldwide Ray. Remy. She's also Fupri student since we're all doing Fupri. Worldwide Ray, she didn't just stop at just thrift, right? She's a very dynamic person. That's something I noticed from her. She started doing thrift, and then so her friends asked her for the weirdest things. When I mean the weirdest things. And she was like, okay, you know what? Thrift is simply buying and selling. These weird things are buying and selling. So, why not? And then she evolved. She started even contacting. I think she sort of even imports from China too. And I don't mean all these buy and reselling. Like she actually did it big time because I know this time she was even having some kind of importation issues and then got that resolved and kind of thing. But like thrift, selling thrift is one of the example of being static because how many people do you think would be buying thrift? And if the guy that does the washing machine business or the laundry business does it well enough, I don't even think you might stand that chance in that same environment. Okay. So yeah, that's my advice for thrift. So back to the food on. If I do get any other question, then I'll round up the food on. So okay, yeah. So the food on thrives on preference, and there are different ways you can do this thing. You can choose to allow people to order what they want. Now, this is what I mean. You are selling egusi. Some people want their egusi this type of way. They want this amount of pepper. The moment you give people control and flexibility, it's actually like people can tell you, okay, this is the amount of thing I want in this. This is one that you give them that kind of feeling, that kind of privilege, that kind of stuff. And this is a way you can now use and collect data and train whatever AI you want to do. Okay. Um, I think do I still have more time? Because I know I'm still for like 14 minutes, but okay, yeah. That's how the whole food thing works. Okay, so at the end of the day, at the end of the day, whatever field you are in, mm, Yeah, something like hairdressing. Something like hairdressing is a bit um for hairdressing. Again, not everything right now is mature for AI, or not everything that AI can challenge. There is a company who did that. Dextatry or so. There's a company. What they do is they make AI and robots to be able to like move with fingers. So maybe other people are doing AI and robots for cars, Tesla and the rest. They're just doing for fingers. So they try to do that for barbing hair and tying shoelace and things like that. And it's not going so well. It has a very long time to go. So probably you should not bother about AI for now. But then you should bother about other things, which is not necessarily AI, which is number one, demand, right? Demand for that, the supply for hairdressers extremely, extremely overshadows the demand. Again, it depends on your region because what I noticed was in some areas, you will notice that hairdresser go dey fully booked. If hairdresser is fully booked and you cannot have a chance to make your hair done, then the supply is less than the demand. Opening a hairdressing service there would do you well. Okay, but this is not a business class. If it's a business class, hairdressing goes a lot more. One of the things that benefits from hairdressing is apprenticeship because if you now you own an area like everybody is coming to they are looking for it, say how far your hair good, instead of you to now take that as a good thing, instead of you to say omo na me be omoba na me dey do the hair, say you go wait till tomorrow, wait till next tomorrow, all you need to do is you get this thing. Now how can AI directly help hairdressing? For you to know how AI can help hairdressing, you probably have to know the intricacies of hairdressing. I don't know the full intricacies of hairdressing, but if it's to make the hair itself, yeah, AI cannot really do any of that now. That's like some years in the future, okay? Maybe those guys that do revamping of hair, probably there's a technical stuff, okay? But this is what I'll do for you. As I've explained to you, I've done AI in agriculture, I've done AI in defense, I've done AI in so many fields. The whole dog thing I explained, blah blah blah. So what I can do is, okay, if you really want this question answered, then we can actually take time and actually have a research. So probably find a way to get my contact or whatever. I'm always happy to help you to do that because some things cannot really be. Nobody walks around with all the knowledge in the head. All right. So at the end of the day, I will not want anybody to be scared, even if I am actually scared. No, but what happens is I try to balance it because are you going to say, oh, because AI will take over everything that you will not do anything? No, you're not going to do that at the end of the day. But you are going to do something else. You are going to have that behind your mind. Like you're going to put that as a watchword that okay, what I am doing, I have to always stay alert. Yeah. You said you are scared. You are going to say, okay, yeah, you have to always be at alert. The people that if you didn't know self, there were people that their job was to rephrase if you do plagiarism check and your plagiarism is high, they will rephrase it for you. That's a job. That's something that was doing. And AI does that easily now. Nobody is going to you understand. So I feel you are going to have to look for a way to catch up. But one thing you should never do is race against AI. Like thou shalt not. There's no winning in that. Like a field that you have seen. So for example, now I'm going to still come to I'm going to still come to web dev. You are a professional web developer, and we know that there are certain websites that are relatively easy to build, and then AI can do that easily for you. If you have a job on that, I don't think you should try and build it from scratch to race against AI. I'm not saying you should build a full scale website on AI because it's going to crash. It's not that perfect yet. But do not try to race against something that AI has perfected because yeah, it's a straight downhill battle. Okay. But what you're going to do now is, oh, so you're a web dev already. Let me take AI. Okay. Um, Nobody writes a for loop manually. For people that know what a for loop is, it's just a concept in a simple concept. Nobody writes it manually again. Okay, so just AI write this thing, write this thing for me, write this thing for me. Direct it. It's going to do it. It's going to do your things for you. But for the high complex thinking, probably you want to be in the loop for that because that is your strength. Okay, so that's on that. Um, you see, logistics and AI, they go hand in hand. Like they go hand in hand like mad. I'm going to refer you to I'm going to refer you to Amazon because this is something you can get online if you take your time and read. Understand how Amazon actually you hated for loop. Understand how Amazon actually gets things across the world. And now since you can get Amazon's own online, let me bring something down for you. Let me bring something down. I do not know your experience in computer, but let me use something that is simpler in case you are not maybe so computer oriented. If you come out of your house and you're walking on your road and you get to a junction, call that junction a node. Call that junction a node. If you leave your junction, maybe on your junction there are three roads, like there are three different roads on that junction. Call one of those roads a branch. If you walk on that road and get to another junction, call that junction a node. Call the resulting road a branch. Now, there's a reason why I'm saying this because we want to switch terminologies a bit. What that means is every road is a branch and every junction is a node. I want you to now picture your estate from the top view. Your estate is simply made out of roads and junctions, which is branch and nodes, or roots and nodes, whichever. If I should ask you to view the map from the top, like view the map of your state from the top and determine the best route it takes to get from point A to point B manually, do you know that, for example, now if it's like your estate, you can say, okay, if I walk to this junction and I jump to this junction and I jump to this junction, it will be shorter. You know the shortcut. But the moment you have a larger scale, it's very difficult to compute. You cannot even use your hand to start tracing it because one junction connects to another junction connects to another junction. So I want to picture something because I want to build something. Now, if you now get on a bigger scale, there are computational algorithms we use, like we use computers to solve that kind of puzzle. Where is the fastest route? AI helps us solve that thing faster. Like AI actually helps you solve that thing faster because we basically train it. Now, another thing you need to find out that it's not just distance now that is the problem. Time taking. There's traffic on one junction. Even if that's the shortest junction by distance, if you follow that junction, you will spend more time. Hence, you have to take another route. This is actually a real problem in logistics. And this is something you probably should think of solving with AI. It depends on the angle you are coming from, because another angle we can look at is the idea of inventory management in logistics. Can you use AI to do inventory management? Yes, you can. Everything depends on which aspect that you want to, the aspect that you want to use it on. Just a minute. Okay, so it depends on which aspect you want to use it on. Okay, four more questions. As a student balancing school and business, how can AI help you manage time without hurting learning? I don't think that's the job of AI. That's a behavioral job. That's something that, I mean, before AI, we're balancing school and business. So that's something that has to do with you. Um, if you were starting a business today with limited money and time, what AI tool you come on? I don't think that not everything is AI actually. Not everything is AI because most of the businesses I started was with limited money and time. That's not necessarily AI related. I mean, let me put it this way: things that can be solved with AI are more like things that you need to predict. You need to say, for example, the shopping business, that the laundry business. You need to predict what someone will buy. Hence AI. For the foods business, you need to tell somebody's preference, hence AI. For the calculation for the fastest time to take or not, you need to know the time taken to get something done, like something computationally intensive. That's AI. Not everything is AI. Come on. I mean, think about it. If everything was AI, is there anything that is ever one particular? Because you apply something in somewhere doesn't mean it must always be. Even in robotics, you can do robotics without even doing AI for one day. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. So how do you decide which part of a business should not be automated with AI? And that's why you have people like us now. You have to be a critical thinker. First of all, before you do any business, ensure my father would say something. He would say there is no business he has gone into and he failed. And that's actually true because before you go into business, take time to understand that business. And when I mean take time, I don't mean do two Google search and say you understand the business. Take time and study. Like 3 months, people still they do research on business. Look at business that blew in 2023. Centel AI, Australia. Business that blew over 200 and something million. Now from 2010 or so they don't start. Take your time and understand. If you ever do business, for funny enough, I have one MBA like that. If you ever do business or business admin or anything that has to do with business, you will understand that business is not cash and carry. It's not, oh, I want to make money, let me go into business. Like go get a job instead. I hate the way people look at business. Business is not I want to make money, let me go into business. That's the fastest way to lose money. If you want to make money, okay, go and get a job, get a monthly salary. By the way, not everybody is supposed to do business, but that's talk for another day. Okay. So you have to take your time. You would have to take your time. And actually, there's a saying that if you cannot survive 3 months straight without any source of income, get a job and don't do business. Now I do business and I do business very well. But there are times that you collect some kind of loss like this and you think of your life. So these are things you need to look out to. So for you to know which parts that needs automation, you need to actually know the say for example now, I've never done the whole laundry thing before, right? I've never done the whole laundry thing. The example just came into my head and I could think of something because I'm skilled at thinking. Okay, I'm a critical thinker and that's fine, that's great. I've trained myself that way so I can know that. But somebody asked me about hairdressing and I could not get anything concrete because you know what, I've never even thought of hairdressing. I've never even gone to a hairdresser. Okay, no, I have when I don't almost wayward, but it was only once. But I've never really gone to a hairdresser, so I don't even know. I don't even know how those things happen there. Okay, I don't know how those things happen there. So you have to actually know the business to know what to automate. Where should businesses draw the line between AI assistance and human decision making when life is involved? When life is involved, but we no go here. We no go here. When life is involved, thou shalt not give AI full control. There is a rule in Europe here. Whatever you do, do not give full autonomy. We call it level 5 or class 5 autonomy. And that is the reason why electric cars electric cars are very rampant in America, but they are not rampant in Europe here. Like, sorry, not electric cars, sorry. Um, Autonomous cars. You sit down in car and then was it not last week that one of those autonomous cars, I don't know if it was Tesla, it was way more, but I'm not going to like call the brand since I'm not sure. They had accidents now. Who do you want to now? I mean, if there was a human being making the decision, probably it would have been better. And now for you, see, you don't rush call Nigeria now for public. Small talk, go they talk. You don't rush carry gun. Okay, so what's the next thing? What's the next question? So we should find ways that we can use AI to our advantage in whatever we do. Yes, I tell you that you should find a way, but I'm not saying there will always be a way. I'm not saying there must be a way, right? But find a way to do that. And this goes for non-AI things too, right? Let us assume your business is not AI related. Maybe you've checked and checked and checked, but ensure that you're looking for the next big thing in that business per se. All right. So the next thing is okay. So that's all the questions that I can see here. So I think with that, the ends at 9:05 for me. I'm a big respecter of time, and I want to appreciate the platform that has been given to me to talk today. Thank you very much for having me here.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Vakel. This was a beautiful, insightful, impactful section. Okay, so if you're still in the comment section, please, I want us to drop in there. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Bakel. Thank you, Mr. Bakel. I want to see our comments. I want to see the comments. I'm sure you learned a thing or two. I learned so much. I learned so much. Thank you so much. Okay, so I will be please let's note that we would have the for some of us that joined in quite late, would have the replay of this section once we are done. So you can go ahead and still share to as many persons as possible. Okay, so Mr. Bakel, you have I'm sure you can see this comment. You have your fellow Fupri Marina. Okay,
Yeah, I
so
can.
um
I can.
okay, okay, they are here. All right. So please do well to share, continue to share this to as many persons. He had said so much from the start of this section. All right. So I'll hand over the mic to Jane. Mr. Bakel, thank you. I think that's all the questions we have for now. I'm sure you would have to have a paid section if you want to have a one-on-one with Mr. Bakel. In the meantime, in the meantime, Jane, are you there? Just so that you continue from here. Jane, are you there? Okay.
Yes, I'm here. I'm here. Good evening,
All right.
everyone. Thank you so much. Mr. Bakio. Like, well, each of us will come for a one-on-one meeting, actually. Well, thank you so much. Can you guys hear me? I
Yes,
feel
please.
like
Yes, please. We can.
okay. So thank you so much. I learned a lot, even though my network was unstable. But I will come back and listen to everything. And yes, I'm scared though. This AI thing. AI should not come and take my life, please. Please, AI, don't come and take my life. Yes, but thank you for the insights. And it kind of like opens our minds to the reality that so much is happening with AI that we do not know. Like so far, we just limit AI to ChatGPT. Let's just like you just go and generate answers and everything. We think that's all there is, but wow, this is a lot. And I've even been doing my own research, checking on YouTube, and I've been really fascinated. So thank you for this insight you shared. I don't even know, like it feels overwhelming, but don't worry, we'll not be scared again. We'll just need to position better. Like gaining this knowledge kind of opens our mind to see that like we should not be learning stuff that are redundant already. Like we should be looking for
Yep.
ways to position ourselves better and gain a better advantage. So thank you so much. Um Clearly would always reach out whenever we have questions, whenever we have concerns. You're part of our community now, by fire by force. We have adopted you. We have colonized you. So thank you so much once again. And everyone, please, our advisors, we all like come back to this replay. It's going to be here on YouTube. It's going to be here, so anybody can come back. We'll share it to our community members. I think some people were saying it's Sunday and it's late, so they can't join. I'm surprised, like wow, you used to sleep early. But yeah, so just come back and listen to it in depth and find ways, make your research and see how you can be better. So the fellow marine students here, please don't switch. Don't switch. Mr. Bakio did not switch. Shay, he's in the UK now. You're in the UK, right?
Um, I'm not in UK.
Oh, okay, okay. So, you can still do what you are doing. You can still just find ways you can improve yourself in your field. Or do you have something to tell him so that he will not switch and like go and drop out from school?
No, I mean, I usually don't have a say in what somebody would do with their this thing. Like usually, the first thing that comes to my mind is why. Why do you want to switch? You should not switch because you feel like switching. Like these are not things you feel like. Don't be sentimental about it. Okay, I mean,
Yeah.
probably if you have passion for something else, maybe that's a reason. But you might have passion for rubbish. That yes, that's as brutal as that sounds. You might have passion for rubbish, so you probably might want to recalibrate a bit, right? In as much as I don't like calling some fields outdated, but come on, you can't argue with numbers now.
All right. Thank you so much. I hope the person got the answer. So we've spent a lot of time. Yeah. So please follow us on Instagram. We'll share the link in our community. Thank you to our amazing moderator. And once again, I still say thank you, Mr. Baker. Will reach out to you and to everyone that joined and watched and stayed till this very moment. Thank you very much. And do have a lovely week. And happy new month. Yeah, this is a new month. Over to you, Lenny. Yeah, done.
Okay, thank you so much, Jane. Thank you, everybody. We are so excited and happy that you had joined into this live. It was very interactive, very interesting. And we trust that you will take practical steps. That is why we host the webinars. It's not just for us to come, listen, just not for the fun. No, you will take practical steps. What are the little things you can do now? What's that knowledge that you have that you're going to, start, trying to implement in whatever you do. Thank you very much, everybody. Again, we will have this section here just so that you can come back for a replay and share to your friends and community. All right, good night from us, and see you again on our next live section. Bye, everybody. Bye.